out the regular season against the Raptors. Doesn't feel like it, but this is D-Wade's 15th year in the league. Here's what he had to say post-game about that accomplishment.
When was the last time somebody drank champagne out of a flute in this locker room?
It's a long time ago.
You guys never, when you did drink champagne in here, I don't remember glasses. Yeah, it was.
No, so me and UD celebrated our 15th year together. I mean, this was just me and UD. This is the vets celebrating the end of regular season of our 15th year. It really means something. You know, every time you complete a season, especially as you get up there. So we in the bag, both of us a little tipsy. We drank a lot.
Anytime you can drink with your shirt off is an interesting way to drink.
Well, that's one way to look at it. Udonis Haslem, by the way, this guy is an unbelievable story. Like, D. Wade playing for 15 years makes sense. The guy's top 5 pick, star at Marquette, future Hall of Famer. UD being a Heat lifer and doing what he's done.
Yeah, Miami native.
Miami native, played high school basketball under Frank Martin, now the South Carolina head coach. This guy has just been a hard work all-star forever. And for him to still be on an NBA roster along with D-Wade is so great.
Yeah, it's a tremendous credit to the Mickey Erickson, the great owner of the Miami Heat. He believes in having the players for a lifetime. Lonzo Mourning, great Heat player, working with the organization. Them kind of mending their fences with Dwayne Wade, bringing him back. So it does mean something to certain teams. And in Miami, and Pat Riley, Mickey Erickson, they do it the right way.
Absolutely.
It's a great story. Can I just say one thing before we move on?
Yeah.
Is that a chain tattooed around? Because if it is, I'm just, you wouldn't have to actually go
rosary.
get
It's
a rosary. Okay. I don't know if it was a rosary. I couldn't see all the way down, but I'm just saying it would be one way for you not to have to go out and get it.
Oh, you're saying for me
is you've been talking about you want to get another chain in this way.
I wasn't talking about any of that. I don't exactly have the chest for those big tattoos. Not exactly doesn't fit my...
It took me a long way to get you there, but I did.
My body.
Stories to start your morning. Last night, the T-Wolves edged out the Nuggets 112-106 in overtime to clinch the last playoff spot in the West. One of the rare win-or-go-home regular season games. So what does Minnesota get for the big win? Only the 65-win Rockets in the first round. Nick, can the T-Wolves put up a fight against Houston?
I think they could win 2 games. I don't think they can get it to a game 7, but I think they can win 2 games. I do. Like, I think that is the team, Houston, of the likely first-round matchups, the least likely, the one they least wanted to face in Houston. I think that you've got 2 legitimate all-stars in Minnesota. So, I mean, no, I would be shell-shocked if they beat the Rockets. That would be a total debacle for them. But I think they could win a couple games. I think this could go 6.
Congratulations to the Timberwolves' first playoff berth in 14 years. Jimmy Butler. I mean, only playing 3 games after missing an extended amount of time. They needed all 3 of those wins to get him in. And last night, played over 45 minutes. I mean, that was a good basketball game. It was nice, a little preview of what we're going to see, the type of intensity in the playoffs. Timberwolves' defense got to get better. If not, I'm looking at 4-1. But their defense, bro. Man, their defense not good.
And by the way, if you watched last night, you got a preview of playoff officiating. Gonna let them play now. Gonna let some contact happen. Not gonna blow a lot of whistles now. Let the guys figure it out.
All right, the Trailblazers hosted Donovan Mitchell and their Jazz in the season finale last night. Damian Lillard dropping 36. The win gives Portland the 3 seed. They will face the Pelicans in the first round. Chris, how dangerous is this Portland team?
Man, they're dangerous. They had a great season. With Damian Lillard leading them, C.J. McCollum, also that double, that 1 and 2, where you can play 1 at the point guard, play other one at 2, and the way they run their offense. I like watching Portland play. I believe this is going to be a good series. And also, this lets you know the depth of what we have in the West. We talked about the last highlight with Minnesota being the 8th seed, Portland having a spectacular season. No one would have thought they would have been the 3 seed. So I look for them to advance. Man, this is a dangerous team. I wouldn't want to play Portland.
Well, listen, I think the Pelicans are a tough matchup for them. I mentioned that earlier, but I still would favor the Blazers in that series. They then are going to play the Warriors in round 2. I think the Warriors are a terrible matchup for them. However, if you're the Blazers, what you're thinking is this. If Steph is not 100%, and he's going to have to chase around, can't hide him against the Blazers now. There's 2 all-star guards, or 2 all-star caliber guards.
Yes.
So if Steph's knee isn't 100%, he's going to have to either guard Lillard or McCollum.
No, you know who he's going to guard.
Well, he's going to guard McCollum.
Yes.
I understand that. But still, like, that ain't great. So, like, if you're Portland, what you're thinking is if we can get past the Pelicans, a lot of our chances of being dangerous have to do with the health of Steph Curry's knee. Because if Steph is close to or at 100%, the Blazers, I don't think they can put up much resistance against Golden State.
All right, the Knicks fired their head coach last night. That's what happens when you go 60-104 in the last 2 seasons. That's the 6th worst record in the NBA over that span. So the Jeff Hornacek era is over in New York. CC, what do you make of this move by New York?
I'm not surprised at all. I went to a bunch of Knicks games this year, and you knew that gradually that they were trying to change. They have to make some changes with Porzingis. What is he going to do? Are they going to be able to keep him here? Coming off of a knee injury, they love him, want to build a team around him. Scott Perry, the new general manager, he comes over. He's got to be able to make a move. I mean, that's not his coach. He should have the right to go out and be able to get his coach. I like the fact that they did it immediately. So now if there's someone out there that they like, they can immediately get on top of it. I need the Knicks to be good. I'm here in New York. That's the team I go to watch all the time.
Listen, the name people are going to talk about is Fizdale. He's on the market as a possible fit in New York. I'm going to throw a name out there that's not on the market. A guy who might have run his course in Los Angeles. What about Doc Rivers? If Doc Rivers, who didn't want to do a rebuild in Boston, left there to go to L.A., now L.A. is in a rebuild. Boston, obviously, back near the top of the league. If he is okay with dealing with this version of the Knicks, building around Kristaps, that's a name I would just keep that in mind. He had some of his power stripped away this offseason. See what Los Angeles and Steve Ballmer wants to do. If not that, I think David Fizdale is the most likely option to be the next head coach of the New York Knicks.
I think I'm going to call my source. I think I might be able to get some intel on this.
I would imagine so.
You know, he's not up yet.
On to one of the feel-good stories of the night. Markelle Fultz, the #1 pick of the 2017 draft. Remember, he missed 68 games with that shoulder injury. Well, last night, he became the youngest player in NBA history at 19 years old, 317 days, to record a triple-double. Good for him. Sixers will face the Heat in the first round. Nick, with a healthy Fultz and Embiid, how far can this Sixers team go in the playoffs?
Man, they can be in the Final Four now. They can be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And they can, by the way, put a scare into Cleveland. I would argue Cleveland is looking at Philly with more trepidation, more concern than they have any Eastern Conference team since LeBron got back there. I know the Hawks won 60 games. The first year LeBron was back, they swept them. I know the Raptors have thought they were close. The Raptors one time took them to 6 games. That series was really never that close. I think Cleveland was clearly never worried about Boston last year. They said, Boston, take the 1 seed. Go ahead. We'll steal it back in game 1 of the series. Philly's dangerous. And if we're talking about Philly and Cleveland, the one other thing that Philly, if that matchup happens, that plays in their favor, CC, is by the time the Eastern Conference Finals come around, Philly's no longer a team without playoff experience. They'd be a team with a bunch of guys with 2 rounds of playoff experience. Like, if you make the playoffs one year and get bounced in the first round, the next year we say, oh, you've got playoff experience because you played 5 games. If Philly gets to the Eastern Conference Finals, they will have played 10, 11, 12 playoff games. Like, so, listen, I still think Cleveland is the drastic favorite in the East. But as I've been saying for the better part of a month, if you tell me Cleveland doesn't make the finals, who does? My answer is the Philadelphia 76ers.
How far can they go? They're one of the best teams in the East. You know, you got Toronto, Cleveland, and Philadelphia. In no particular order. How will Joel Embiid come back? How will he be with contact? We talked about the Denver-Minnesota game. Now, Joel Embiid couldn't have played in that game. That game was too physical for him to go in there with a facial fracture. The one thing that I'm concerned about, like, I don't agree with Nick that if you do win 2 playoff series with this young team that now all of a sudden you do have playoff experience. No, because you've never faced a superstar. Like, if you go through 2 rounds, you ain't faced no one. So, yeah, you do have some experience, but to say that it's removed, that, oh, now you have experience, no, I don't go there. Had they ever been pushed, you know, where they were down in a series, where they lost at home.
Right.
There's a number of other factors that really give you playoff experience, and you don't know what you don't know. And I just believe having a young team, they're going to be listening to us, listening to other people talk about the playoffs. It's hard to stay in this moment and concentrate game to game when you've never been able to do it. So I'm concerned that all the praise that people are giving Philadelphia, that as a young team, I don't know how you don't block that out.
Well, and I'm going to add one other thing about their first-round matchup. I got a text from an NBA guy that I have a ton of respect for in the middle of the night, basically once these matchups came out, and it said, I got Miami over Philly in the first round. And I thought about that. And here's the thing. We know Embiid's not playing game one. We also know Embiid and Whiteside have a bit of a rivalry, and Coach Eric Spoelstra has seen how teams would guard LeBron when they didn't think LeBron's jump shot was working. You know Ben Simmons' jump shot will never be working.
Right.
Will he try to use some of the same, the way the Spurs guarded LeBron in the 2013 NBA Finals on Ben Simmons? Like, I don't think Miami...
How'd that work out for the Spurs?
Well, for the first 5 games, worked well. Then LeBron's jump shot came around.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Simmons, you don't have to worry about the jump shot.
Yeah, I just wanted people to know.
Right, of course. It ended up not being successful for them.
But quickly, and then we're going to move on. You said that the Cavs are drastic favorites over anyone else. You don't think the Sixers are right up there? You think it's that big of a discrepancy, CC?
I just believe it's a play on words. I don't have a word that they're all bunched up.
He doesn't think they're drastic favorites, to answer your question. Like, you don't think, you think Toronto...
I just much rather not say that because the teams are very, very close, and we've never seen Philly in the playoffs. So...
Who knows?
What do we know?
Let's move on to football. You remember that long-awaited meeting between Jerry Jones and Dez Bryant? You know, the one that was supposed to happen about 300 times already? You know, the one where Dez is most likely going to be asked to take a pay cut, but he's already said he doesn't want a pay cut, so it's probably going to be awkward. That one? Well, it's reportedly happening Friday. Bryant is due $12.5 million with a $16.5 million cap hit in 2018. Cece, how badly do the Cowboys need to make it work with Dez, given what the rest of the wide receiver pool